Hi everyone, it's Natalia here again from the channel Cookielicious NZ. Today I'm going to show you how to make a new character. Her name is Eleanor. What you will need for this project is some sugar cookies that have been cut out using a printer template. I'll have a link in the description box below for you to create these templates, and all you need to do is print and cut the shape of Eleanor using a sharp knife or an Exacto knife to cut your cookie dough. I also cut out a few different sections of Eleanor to make it easier to decorate the cookie a bit later, and I will show you this in the tutorial coming up. I will be using an edible marker to mark guidelines on my cookies, and these markers are food safe and created specially for these kind of projects. And I will be using a Scribe tool, which is a needle tool to smooth out my icing to help shape the icing around the cookies. Here are my royal icing with the colors that you'll need for this project, and if you're looking for a royal icing and the sugar cookie recipe, you'll find it in the description box below. Okay, so let's get started on the decorating process. Start by using an edible marker to create guidelines using the little templates that I showed you earlier. I would start with her body and then go with her head and also mark her nose area. Start icing the 4 sections of her body. Choose the top and the mid section to create dimension for each one. Use a caramel color icing, and while it's still wet, add a couple of dots of white icing in the middle and then let the icing crust. Repeat the same steps for the remaining sections of her body, and again, let the icing crust over. Continue to ice her back, starting with the section closest to her body with a light blue icing, and while the icing is still wet, add a few dots of white icing all around the blue. Once that area has crusted over, repeat the same steps to ice the outer section of her back. By the way, just to let you know that if I don't mention the type of icing consistency, then that means I'm using a medium consistency icing. If you want to know more about the different types of consistency icing, there'll be a link down in the description box below on my video to explain each one of them separately. Okay, so next we'll use an outline consistency blue icing to outline her nose. This will make her big nose stands out and will help create a puffier section to highlight her nose. Fill her face with light blue icing and let the icing crust over. To create her eyes, pipe white icing followed by black icing, and while the icing is still wet, drop a tiny white dot on the top of the black icing, and then repeat the same steps for the other eye. Then fill the neck area with a darker blue icing and use a Scribe tool to help shape the icing around the tricky little sections. Oh, and don't forget to add the white dots around her forehead area. Then pipe outline consistency dark blue icing to create her mouth. Now let's add her eyelashes by piping outline consistency black icing on top of her eyes and add her long lashes on the side. Then repeat the same steps on her other eye. To create her antenna, pipe brown outline consistency icing on top of her head and then fill it with the same color medium consistency icing. Next, we'll create her legs the same way by piping outline consistency brown icing and then filling it with the same color of medium consistency icing. Don't forget that you can always use your Scribe tool to help shape the icing. And lastly, create her arms by piping outline consistency brown icing on the side of her body and then pipe her hands using medium consistency brown icing. And then repeat the same steps for her other side. So there you have it. Isn't she adorable? I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and as usual, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to Best Fiends for more really cool videos like this. If you want to see more of my cookie tutorials, then head over to my channel at Cookielicious NZ. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.